John Wick Chapter 2. Watch this one in 4K. Anytime I get the chance to remind you, 4K is a gorgeous format. Everything about it looks visually stunning. It really is like a movie theater in your home. This is fantastic. The movie itself, I kind of like this more than the first one. It's a little bit more emotionally appealing in the first one with the dead dog and everything, but this one is a giving action movie a little bit more, right? It starts with John Wick just like massacring people to get back his stolen car from the first movie, which for me is a lot of fun. I do like that. And then he goes to retire yet again because, the action movie tropes, the assassins always try to retire. And they blow his house up, and it's great. And see, this is a motivating factor for me where it's fun, it's entertaining, and it adds to the story. But also, I don't have to watch the dog die. This works a little bit better for me. The action in this movie is about the same quality. I don't think it's crazy better or anything like that. There are parts that are better, but I think there are also parts that are a little bit worse. I think some of the action scenes are just a little too gun heavy in this one, whereas the first movie had a little bit less of that. But also, maybe I'm just, mixing parts up. They do kind of just blend together. But overall, I feel like the first movie was much more hand-to-hand, or at least had more memorable hand-to-hand combat, whereas this one, a lot of it felt very gun-heavy, which either is fine. I don't really care that much about which one. Both, they're just different styles of action, really, both quite enjoyable. I will say this one focuses less on the John Wick story, in my opinion, and more of the world building and the lore of the assassin group, which, to be honest, don't really care. That might just be me, but didn't really care that much about the lore to John Wick. Obviously there's parts of it introduced in the movie. You got the coins that are always sliding to each other, and the rules at the Continental, and it's kind of alluded to that there is a higher up corporation. There's a lot more going on here than we know. But some of that mystery is what makes it interesting. While there is still quite a bit of mystery in this movie, they start to elaborate a little bit more. And for right now, I haven't seen the third one or the fourth one, but for right now, the elaboration is fine. It's not too much information that it's kind of losing its mystique. But we're getting there, and with 2 more movies to go in the series, I have some concerns that I'm going to find out more about this assassin organization than I want to know. And that's going to take away a lot from the movie for me. The mystique of what's going on, the lack of real knowing of what's going on is kind of the interesting part. You don't know everything, you never know what's going to happen, and that's fine. That's fun for me. If I get too much information, I get too much lore, it feels like it's going to lose its appeal. And maybe it won't. To be fair, learning this stuff can be more interesting too. But right now, I'm happy not knowing a lot about it. And I'm a little concerned that going forward, I might learn too much. And it might not like what I learn. It may not be as interesting when you learn about it. That's kind of a risk you take with expanding on things. And that's fine. It's a risk that you do have to take if you want to continue the series. You obviously can't just keep making movies about how he comes in and out of retirement, but I'm a little concerned going into the third movie. Back to this movie. Again, overall, pretty good. The action's fun. I think the plot device here is a little bit better. It works for me a little bit better. They blow up his house. Obviously, that's a driving factor. And he's got the little medallion thing with, they made a blood oath with somebody who's kind of an asshole, which is cool. That's an interesting lore piece, so I like seeing that. And then by the end of the movie, he's kicked out of the Continental for killing someone on Continental grounds. I think that's really interesting because we hear about that in the first movie, and now we're kind of getting that follow-up into this one. That's interesting. That's a little fun, through line there. Overall, I'd say watch this movie. It is good. It is fun. But I do have some concerns going on as we go forward with the series. I'm a little concerned that there's still 3 more movies. I do recognize one of them's not out at the time of recording, but, who knows when you're watching this. There's at least 3 more because one of them's ready for release. Anyway, thanks for watching. Go watch John Wick. they're fun. At least the first two have been fun so far. We'll be back for the third one eventually. Bye.